Hey, good morning, YouTube. Happy 4th of July. I wanted to give you a quick update on this pergola trellis, what I wish I would have done a little different, and just to walk around, show you guys what I have planted in my garden, as well as I'm going to create a makeshift irrigation. Going on vacation here soon, and I want to have something to water my plants, and I don't have time to complete my long-term irrigation. I had to source some parts online and make a few things, and I'll do a video of that. But here's what I did wrong on this trellis. I made it too short. These things are just growing crazy. Now, this has only been 2 weeks since I created this trellis pergola. Only 2 weeks. If you guys watch that video, I'll put a link in the description, and you can see these things have been going crazy. Here's my cucumbers going like almost touching the ceiling or the top of the netting. Cherry tomatoes, they are touching. And then over here, I have the squash, butternut squash, and these were pushing a couple days ago, and I had to kind of reroute them. So I'm going to take it off. What is it? Not today, not tomorrow. It's going to be 91, and then it's going to drop in the 70s and 80s. So on Monday, I'm going to take the shade cloth off, maybe for the rest of the year, even though I don't want to. I'm going to do some things different. I think I'm getting a lot of green growth. Maybe I over-fertilized. I didn't think my cherry tomatoes, the squash probably, that's my fault. The cherry tomatoes, probably all of it's my fault, but the cherry tomatoes, I maybe over-fertilized. Maybe I grew too much green and not enough tomatoes. I've read where that's can be a thing because I'm in Michigan. I planted these, boy, at the end of May. So they're already going bananas. And I'm going to do a walk around. Over here, guys, I have a bunch of mixed lettuces, romaine, spinach, and with the heat, it's already bitter, so I'm not even watering it at this point. I'm just letting it go. I feed the rabbit. I have a couple wild rabbits in here, and I cut some lettuce, and I give it to them. There's two and a little baby over there. They made a nest in the fire pit that we don't use, or we can't even use anymore. So this feeds them, and I haven't seen them in the garden. I got 3 rabbits living back here, wild rabbits, and they have not been in my garden section, which surprises me. So hopefully that stays the case. Over here I have beans, green beans, some sugar snap peas, and then cucumbers, 2 different cucumbers. I have a pickled cucumbers, as well as some others, just standard cucumbers. And this one over here is my cherry tomatoes, and I got a really mix of cherry tomatoes. I went to a discount produce store when I was first getting this thing. I'm like, I want to get some tomatoes in the ground, and they had cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes, and I didn't know there was a difference between the hybrids and the different varieties. So I just grabbed them. They were a couple dollars, and they went crazy. Then later on, my sister-in-law gave me some plants that she didn't have room in her garden. So she gave me a couple sweet 100s, some sun sugar, and some Roma tomatoes and some other things. So I have like 8 cherry tomatoes with a mix of different ones in there, and they're going crazy. Over here, these are Bonnie's Best, and look how big. Not a lot of flowers, not a lot of fruit. I only got 1 tomato that's growing so far on that one. Some down here. Again, this isn't ideal. I got some of these plants after the fact and just found spots to stick them. And these are Roma tomatoes. They're not doing too big because I think they're not getting a lot of sun. I know they're not getting a lot of sun. These are early something, early glories, early something. Butternut squash in the back. And over on this side, I have some jalapenos. I have another sweet 100 that I got, some Roma tomatoes, and this one's not doing that good because it was so bunched up over there. I moved it over here thinking it would do better, and it has, but it really was too big to move. Some green peppers, and this is a San Marzano. I got a lot of these after the fact. They weren't planned on. And I put onions around. I heard they help keep the animals out. I don't think that I'll do that again either. Variety of one of these has red onions, 1 sweet onion, and 1 white onion. It just doesn't look great. And every time I'm in there picking weeds, I snap them off, and they're not doing great because of that. Today's project though, guys, I'm gonna do an irrigation system. I'm gonna do a valve system, and that's my long term. I won't be able to finish before I go on vacation. I don't want this stuff to die, and I don't want to have somebody come over and water. I have a cheap little watering system I bought on Amazon a year or two ago. I'll leave you a link. It's okay if you guys are looking for something cheap, quick, hook up to your garden hose with a timer. It'll work. I want something a little longer term, better, and I'll do a video on that. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing. These came with 24, I think, little emitters, and then a valve body, as well as some tubing and some tees. And what I'm doing, and this is only temporary, so I had this from last time when I was doing my buckets. So this isn't going to look pretty, but I have 6 in each one, and they're off of tees. I'll show you guys how I have it in here. And this isn't ideal. I mean, ideal, you'd want to do this before you put your plants in. Long term, I'm going to do a drip irrigation, probably instead of the emitters, but this will give it some water while I'm gone. And I'm going to do this for each. I'm not going to water that one, the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and I'm going to show you the valve body. And I'm just going to run my garden hose up to here and set it on a timer. And here's what it looks like. And this is what it looks like. I'm working on my other one. And these were set up for buckets again a year or two ago. I'm just trying to waste less. So if you were doing this, you would measure your distance, what you needed, the placement, and so on. But it's pretty self-explanatory. There's an emitter with a little spout. You just connect the 1/4 inch line. This is a 1/4 inch drip line. So here's the valve body, and here's the paper. There's some instructions. They say to dip it in hot water. I use a torch, some tees, the emitters, and then the tubing. And I'm gonna go ahead and heat it up, hit it with the torch. And on the ends, and what I'm doing 4 rows of 6 emitters, and I'll show you guys what I'm doing. Now, with getting one off, I'm going to use my torch as well, because again, I'm doing a different kind of setup, so I need to replace and put a T at the end here. So trying not to burn. Well, actually, this one might come off. Now, I don't want to break it, but a heat gun might work better. Just not getting close to it. And it's just enough to pull off. And I want a new end, so I'm going to cut this end off so it's a fresh end. And here's where I'm going to put a T. So I have a T here. I'm going to put another T here. And this stuff's this is warm enough I can just turn it and get these on without heating it up. If it was cold, I'd have to heat them up to get on here, but since I'm pushing, I can get it. It actually has a little water in there. That's funny. And then I'm going to cut a little piece of line about yay much. I already have one over there. Makes it a little easier if I can get it. Can't do much. There, it's going slowly. So I think these, I don't know if they're standard 1/4 inch, but they're on there really good, because I've used this without a pressure reducer. I don't know what my pressure is here, but they didn't pop off. So I'm guessing your mileage may vary depending on your pressure of your home. Oh, I got that one hotter. It's much easier to do. You don't want to get too hot. It'll melt it. Probably should be wearing gloves too, but I'll be okay. And this should be number 6. Oh yeah, see, that one went on better. I'm gonna just go like that. And then I can run 4 lines, 4 valves off this valve body. And it came with these 2. This is my splitter, so I'm running it off of 1 garden hose. And you would just put it like that, backwards, backwards, backwards. Put it on here, and then once you had it on there, you'd use a wrench, and this is a 12 millimeter. I'm just setting it now because I'm going to be adjusting it. And I'm going to run my garden hose to it, put a timer on the house side of it, open all these, turn it on, get it adjusted to where I want it. It's an 8-foot bed. If I did this with enough runnage, I should have, oh, I guess I should have 6. So I screwed up. I didn't make this long enough. That's okay. See what happens when you do a video. But I'll have 6 emitters on each of the valves, 24 emitters. Turns on, it waters. So I finished putting these together and spacing them out where it made sense. They're not evenly spaced. They're kind of even, but I made sure it was by the base of a plant or in between a cluster of plants where this one is not ideal. This is probably better. So this will cover in between these here, over there, and these are hard to see. They're kind of like down in there. If you can see, I kind of spaced them where they made sense. This one I didn't space anywhere yet, so I'm gonna put it right in between those. And here's the valve body. I think all the valves are open. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. There's no flow reducer or pressure reducer, which I think I'm gonna need some pressure for this. This is on, this here on, right is on, right is on. So they're all on right now. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the water. See, last year I used this valve body. That's why it's a different color. This kit came with 2. This is brand new. I just opened the package. I had it from last year or 2. And this one was from, you know, I used it when I had the buckets. So I have one going to each bed where I can adjust the flow to the bed if I need it to. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fire this off. So far so good. I'm gonna reduce this one down a bit. You turn them in, it's spraying a little bit too far, but I don't know, that one might be broke. There it goes. There it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust them all. Now, I probably should start at the end of each one in the shortest because they're not pressure compensating. So the very end, and then I'll work my way down. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just until I get back from vacation, but I might use it until I have it built. But again, a couple weeks. See, that one has to be adjusted. I don't see any leaks. Check the valve body. No leakies. And this is how I'm just gonna run it across there. I don't worry about the hose getting crazy hot and swelling because this is a stainless steel hose. It doesn't get too hot. There's a hose within inside this, so it's kind of like almost like a air insulation. I like that hose. I bought it years back. I can see if I can find a link to that. I'm sure I can, but it was like 30 or 40 bucks for a 50 footer. And let's see if these are going. Yeah, they're going. So they look good. I'm gonna go ahead and do some adjustments, guys, but no leaks. Well, no leaks where I don't want them. These are going good. This one has to open. So when you open one, they're not pressure compensating. You open one, it's gonna make the other ones go less. So you gotta kind of tweak them around. So this one doesn't have a whole lot of pressure. So as I crank this one down more, I hope you can see that here. The other ones are coming out more. So it's hard to do this with one hand. Oh, I didn't mention, I will be using a timer. It's just a standard water timer. Wi-Fi, you know, they're kind of standard now. But I can shut it off if we get rain and run it probably once a day if we don't. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.